I'm making sunshine for the journey. I'm making sunshine for the journey. I'm making sunshine for the journey. And I am making it right now. Hey, everybody. Today we have another Sunshine for the Journey episode for parents and other adults who care for children. Most of these episodes feature parents of high school and college-age kids, but today we have Maggie and Sydney on the show who are college students themselves. One of the main goals of the Ready, Set, Go show is getting kids to spend more time learning and having fun outside. My guests today have a long history of spending time together in the great outdoors. Sydney, Maggie, welcome to the show.
Hey. Hello.
So how long have you known each other?
So Maggie and I met in second grade. We went to school together, elementary school together since I think first grade, but we weren't really friends yet until you and my mom started practicing for the 5K together. And we met that year and started just hanging out at the park whenever you guys were doing 5Ks together. So it's been 12 years.
That's a long time.
I know, very long.
So what was that like and how did it help your friendship develop when you spent those times in the park?
Just having that time together planned kind of made us close right off the bat. But we really bonded over the fact that we started a bead business together pretty early on. And we both started collecting our beads and we'd bring them to the park and do that. We'd also do bandolooms. And yeah, we started selling those bracelets and it was really fun for us. And we would also go on walks around the park and it just helped us get to know each other. And yeah.
Because you can't really choose your friends when you're younger. It's more like your parents choose just who they hang out with. You become, and I got very lucky that it was Maggie. So
it worked out for everybody.
Yes,
that's so good.
Perfect.
So do you remember some things you used to do together outside besides the bracelets when you were really young?
Yes, we now go on a lot of walks together, but I think that's because when we were younger, we would go on a lot of walks. And at first it wasn't because we wanted to be in nature. We actually would walk to like stores to buy snacks or buy like makeup products and stuff like that. So we did that a lot. And we also rode our bikes a lot and we would ride them to Riversport to go kayaking sometimes in the summer. And that was a lot of fun.
This wasn't really outdoors, but just another fun thing we did was we started having sleepovers for the bead business to do more beads. But we also started having spa nights together. So we would like do face masks. We would wash each other's hair in the sink.
Oh, yes.
And yeah, paint our nails. That was really fun. And we bonded over that.
The Wii.
Oh, we played a lot of Wii on the TV.
Sounds great.
Yeah, it wasn't outdoors, but it was active.
So what did you guys do outside during middle and high school?
We would go on a lot of walks. Like that started when we were younger, but we continued doing that all throughout middle school and high school. Every week in middle school, I remember we would go on a walk and I'd spend like all of my week's allowance to buy sushi and a Zevia. Free promo. We used to get Zevias. It's a soda drink made with stevia instead of sugar. We would get those like every single week.
I still get them when we go on walks. Maggie doesn't. She has more self-control than me. I can't resist.
But we would also, like, I remember a few times one summer we would go bike to, like Sydney said earlier, bike to Riversport at Lake Hefner, go kayaking, bike back home, sometimes stop somewhere along the way. We'd go biking to other places as well.
I remember one time we went biking. It was so cold. It was in the middle of winter and we wanted to go to Starbucks. And we biked to Starbucks and we got the peppermint mocha frappuccino. Like, why would you do that? It's already so cold. And we drank it and we were so cold on our way back and it was like windy. And I remember like I had like tears coming down my face. And it was
we did that multiple times.
Yeah,
when it was so cold.
Never learned.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun. It was like biking and walking was our freedom because we couldn't drive yet.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I remember being really impressed, Sydney, when you walked to our house and it was a very, very cold day. It was a snow day. Nobody was in school and you were all wrapped up in multiple layers and you walked the entire way from your house to our house, which is not a small distance, but it was really, really cold. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I had like a baklava on, even like to cover my face. Oh, I remember that. I obviously wanted to hang out with Maggie too, but I think I was also just going insane being inside for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And my dad wouldn't drive me because he was worried about the car. So
probably the ice. Yeah.
Yeah, the ice. Yeah.
Well, tell about the hiking trip you planned and went on after graduation.
So obviously we both love nature and we love being outside, but we never really got a chance to go camping together in high school or middle school. So we kind of just started spitballing ideas. Originally, we wanted to go to California.
Yeah, we realized that was just too ambitious.
Yes, California is a very big state also with lots of nature. It was just very overwhelming, that whole idea. So we were trying to figure out where we wanted to go. And I'd actually already been to Ouray and Telluride, which is where our camping trip ended up being. So that made it easier because both my parents and myself felt more secure going on a camping trip that way because I was already familiar with the area. So we decided to do that. We reserved the campsites.
And Sydney did a lot. I was working like all day. Once the summer started, I was working all day. And Sydney did so much of the planning and packing for this.
My dad helped a lot too. That wasn't just me, but
but it took a lot of preparation ahead of time, like packing and making sure we had all the food we needed and all the equipment.
Can you think of a couple of the things you did during the trip that were especially exciting?
So it was actually perfect. Like, it was just such a good trip. So the drive to Telluride or Ouray, it's like 12 hours, which is a lot. And it's more like 14 hours whenever you factor in bathroom stops and all of that. So Maggie actually you have friends in Santa Fe who have an extra guest house. So we were able to stop there halfway through after our 6-hour drive and stop there. And we spent the night there on our way there. And we got to spend a day in Santa Fe together, which was so nice. It was so pretty. And we even visited the Georgia O'Keeffe Ghost Ranch whenever we were over there too.
Yeah.
So that was a great start to the trip. And then we drove to Ouray. And what was your favorite thing we did in Ouray?
There's this hike. Ouray is a pretty small town, and there's a hike that goes just around the perimeter of it, and it's called the Perimeter Trail. We did that. It was a decently hard hike. Yeah. It just felt really accomplished, or we felt really accomplished, like having done that, like walking around the town, like the whole town and seeing it from that perspective.
And there's like 4 waterfall stops on the way, like through it. It was a really nice hike.
And that was great. And then actually after that hike, that was when we went swimming, right? We came back to our campsite, put on our swimsuits, and then there were these hot springs, but it was really just pools. And that was really fun. And then also while we were in Ouray, we had not planned on doing this ahead of time, but we did what's called a Via Ferrata, which is rock climbing where you're harnessed in, and it was beautiful.
You have to like clip yourself you're like on the side of like a cliff basically, and you just have to like unclip. You have a harness on with the clip, and then you have to clip on to the little like metal railings they have there, and then unclip and go to the next one. So that was something we both had never done, which was really cool.
So that was really fun in Ouray.
Oh my gosh. Also, one night we were there, we were camping at our campsite, and a siren goes off, like the emergency siren. And I sleep with earplugs, which is probably not safe, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So I'm like not waking up to it. And Maggie, like I wake up to Maggie waking me up. She's like, Sydney, there's a siren. And we were freaking, I freaked out.
I felt really bad because
Sydney sounded like a tornado siren.
Sydney loves her sleep, so I was like, do I wake her up? Do I not?
Oh my God, of course. No.
Yeah, because I knew I had a feeling it probably wasn't like we're about to die.
Yeah.
But
what was the siren for?
Pretty stressed.
Was it a tornado siren?
So it sounds like the tornado sirens here in Oklahoma, but it was, oh my gosh.
It was for fires, right?
Yes, there was apparently a little fire
at the top of the cliff or mountain that we were like right
camped
next
under.
to. Yeah.
So it was nothing, but they like did it because they thought the fire might spread if it wasn't watched. But everyone got out of their tents and we're all like, what's happening?
It was really scary. It was a scary sound.
It was really funny. Well, yeah.
Do you want to talk about Telluride? Some of the things you did there?
Yes. So then after Ouray, we went to Telluride and we had our little campground there. There's so many beautiful hikes near Telluride. My favorite it's called like the lower, middle, and upper Blue Lakes, and it's basically an alpine lakes. So it's like super blue water with like the crisp pine trees. It's just so nice. But it was like an hour drive from Telluride, so we woke up pretty early that morning, and it's also really popular. So you have to get there early, otherwise you have nowhere to park. So we woke up early. We drove there, we parked, and we did that hike. And it was just so pretty.
And we got a parking spot.
Yes.
That was the hike we left. Like we got a parking spot in the lot, and then when we left, there were cars like lining the road, right?
Like there was like, I counted the cars. There was like 40 cars lined up that weren't there before whenever we went.
Yeah.
Because we went so early. And there were so many wildflowers because the wildflowers were in bloom.
And yeah, it was just beautiful to see that in person because the Blue Lakes Trail is very popular and you see pictures of it all like on social media and stuff. So it's just amazing to see a lake that blue in real life. And from the view that you get to see it at, because the hike takes you like above the lake. And so first we were there like
Below, like level with it.
Level with the lake. Yeah. And then we got to see it from above. And that was it was really nice.
That would be so impressive. So what are some of the life skills you think you gained from that experience?
Well, I mean, just planning and executing the trip. And I think both of us feel it really gave us a sense that we could do something like that, you know, you can plan a trip and then you can make it happen. And we did it pretty affordably as well. Like we were staying in campsites. That felt so empowering to me, like staying in campsites and spending $25 staying somewhere like Telluride where people are spending hundreds to stay in a hotel room. So it was like really empowering to make it affordable, make our own meals, have one fun night out where we ate food at a restaurant each place.
Because even like planning it before, I was like, I wonder if this is even going to actually work out or happen because it just seems like such a big thing. I know we're seniors in high school, but I sometimes still feel like a little 14-year-old little girl. So whenever we actually did it and we were like driving all those far distances and doing the hikes we wanted to do, it was just so like, I just felt so independent and just proud of myself and Maggie. So yes.
Also, we were doing our own cooking. We were, especially in Telluride, the car was really far, not really far away from the campsite, but we had to cross a bridge and like walk every time we
wanted to cook.
Yeah, wanted to cook and needed things from the car. So it's like developing that routine and like initiative to get things done and then do our dishes. And we ended up coming up with this sort of routine with the two of us where I would like do the dishes, Sydney would do more of the cooking. So dividing up responsibilities.
Another thing I wanted to ask you guys about is the fact that it seems like kids are spending a lot of time on screens and social media these days. And I was wondering if you had any advice for parents on that.
So for me, I feel like I'm really lucky because both my parents are super outdoorsy. Like I would not be as outdoorsy as I am now if it weren't for them. So they made it easy for me to not want to be on a screen as much because they provided me with activities outside to do that made me feel fulfilled without needing to be on my phone. So like some easy ones we did, like we'd make these giant bubbles in our front yard, like using these sticks. There's a whole recipe. You can just look up giant bubbles and I bet it'll pop up. And also my dad always took me below the dam, it's like a 10-minute drive away from my house. And it's just like a paved trail kind of in nature. It's like a little city park nature area. And we would have picnics down there and just like walk around there. And I don't know, they just took a lot of initiative to put me in nature and show me I don't need a phone to be happy all the time. So yes.
Yeah. I think like providing those options, removing your kids from the screens, like going to the art museum, going to the science museum, the zoo, I did those things a lot. Going to the park or like at home having crafts, having like balls to play with and actually doing those things with your kids. And I think that distracts them and gives them a new focus. And so hopefully they wouldn't be thinking about their screens while they're doing those other things.
I think it's more because also Maggie and I obviously like we had our screen time. We liked our screens too. But I think it's more of just like the fact that we were taught that there's other things to do than to be on your screens that made it whenever we were older, we weren't on our phones all the time. Because I mean, I had screen time limits. And I feel like whenever you get older, your parents obviously aren't going to like have screen time limits for you. And it's at that point when you are going to like choose to whether be outside or to be on your phone. So it was nice having those when I was younger. But I feel like since I had other options to do other stuff, whenever I got older, it was just easier to manage my screen time too.
I went to sleepaway camp as a kid growing up. one was 3.5 weeks, one was 1 week. And like that whole time, you're not allowed to have a phone at all. And even if you're not sending your own kid to camp, like over time without having a phone, I just kind of forgot about it. Like it wasn't there. It wasn't gonna be there. And so you just stop thinking about it as much. And so like kind of what I said earlier, just giving other options and spaces where the phone is just not a thing, where screens are just not a thing, not involved. Hopefully your kid will stop thinking about them and it just won't be on their mind anymore.
Mm-hmm. So in general, kids are spending less time outdoors than they did in the past generations. Why do you think it's important to prioritize time outside?
For me, at least, kind of what I was saying earlier, I feel like since I grew up doing more things outside, it made me now be less dependent on my phone for happiness or validation or anything like that. So that's one thing for me.
Yeah. I think it's important to prioritize time outside because it gives you a space, connecting back to the last question, where you're not thinking about your phone. You're just like, you're in nature, you're outdoors, it's a new focus, and you're going to have genuine fun, and it's so much more fulfilling.
And it's more of like, whenever you're on your phone or on a screen, you're basically consuming media, and it stops you from really having your own thoughts because you're just looking at all of this and you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. But whenever you're outside, or you don't even have to be outside, you could just be drawing or just doing anything without your screen there, it makes you start having your own thoughts, and it makes you really grow into your own identity without all this extra input.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on the Ready, Set, Go show today.
Of course.
Of course, yes.
Thank you, Miss Katie. Thank you for having us.
Have a great day, everybody.
I'm making sunshine for the journey. I'm making sunshine for the journey. I'm making sunshine for the journey. And I am making it right now. And then I watch the news and think, well, where do I even begin? And then I think again, if not me, who? And if not now, when? If not me, who? And if not now, when? So I'm gonna put one foot in front of the other, 1 foot. I'm gonna put 1 foot in front of the other, 1 foot. I'm gonna put 1 foot in front of the other, 1 foot. Yes, and I'll be on my way. Yes, I'll be on my way.
How you gonna make sunshine?
I'm going to open my mind.
Open my mind.
Do what makes me smile inside. Then I'll share my smile with you. And like a wave, it will reach others too. I'm gonna put 1 foot in front of the other, 1 foot. I'm gonna put 1 foot in front of the other, 1 foot. I'm gonna put 1 foot in front of the other, 1 foot. Yes, and I'll be on my way. Yes, I'll be on my way. And I'm making sunshine for the journey. I'm making sunshine for the journey. I'm making sunshine for the journey. And I am making it right now. Say that again. Yes, I am making it right now. One more time. Yes, I am making it right now.
Sunshine.
The Ready, Set, Go show is part of the Possibilities podcast platform.